Доброе утро. Пойдем со мной. Пойдем в школу. Мы пойдем в школу. I wanted to go on a little bit of a rant today. Not really a rant, but I want to speak in English really quick and talk about the proliferation of Westerner and Russian YouTube channels. A little side story. So back in maybe 2014, I was living in Texas, and there's so much snow. I've always been into like alternative living styles, like back in the day, even when I was in the Navy. One time I wanted to live as like on the street. I wanted to camp on the street to see what it would be like to live homeless, and I've always been inclined that way since I was like a kid. But I told my uncle my idea, and he said I was stupid, and the reason it basically put me to like a shame, it like embarrassed me, not because the idea was too strange, but my uncle made it sound like it was too unsophisticated, and I've always had a fear of being stupid, like an inferiority complex based on my intelligence. So he said, "Oh, that's dumb, that's so stupid." And I was like, oh no, anything but being stupid. But later on I realized that there's actually sophistication in simplicity, and I've embraced my, I trust myself now. So, but the point is that I've always been inclined to like alternative living situations. So back in 2014, I was living in Texas, and I was spending a lot of money on rent, and I had the idea, I had been working and living in this space for a while, and I said, man, I'm tired of this. I want to do something different. And I said, if I could just live in my car, that would be really cool. It would be fun, and also I'd be saving all this money on rent that I hate, that I have to spend. And I remember looking on the internet for ideas and searching, and all I found was like an article. No one was making videos about this kind of thing. I couldn't find any, at least. And all I could find was one article, and the article basically was talking about van build where you had to spend like $10,000. So at that point, that's when I closed my laptop, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use my own brain and figure this out. So that's what I did. And the reason I want to talk about that is because since 2015, I'd really been interested in going to Russia, and I'd be searching on YouTube for any information. I could never find anything. The only guy that was basically on YouTube back then was this guy Filochko, the black dude. And I would try to watch his videos for any kind of clue on how to move to Russia or anything like that. Also, there were a lot of people that like were born in Russia, moved to the West, and then could go back to rediscovered their Russian passport. A lot of those type of people, like, they already knew Russian, they had connections to Russia and everything. So I couldn't relate to those people because I had no connection decide, I didn't have that type of connection. So now all of a sudden, so like, yeah, back then there was nothing like this on YouTube, and now all of a sudden there's like a whole bunch of Westerner and Russia type videos. Not like a million of them, but like a little handful of them now, where you can easily search, and now other people are jumping in from different countries and making videos about it, talking about their experiences or whatever. And so I was like wondering, like, will this get big? Will it get really big? Oh, because what ended up happening actually in 2014, I couldn't find any like videos on, look at this cute dog. I couldn't find any videos about it was basically van life, what turned into van life. So what happened is van life, like a couple years later, became this huge trend, and then it became tiny homes, and it became like an internet trend where people started making everything van life to make money, because you can get sponsorships and stuff like that. So the interesting thing is, I would look for any kind of van life content, because I was living that kind of lifestyle and I really enjoyed it. It was very much an alternative lifestyle. You couldn't really tell people around about it because they wouldn't understand. So I would look on YouTube for any kind of like relatable content, so that, because it felt like what's it called, like my friend, like it felt relatable. People that were actually living in the van for real, tips on how to cover your windows, tips on like how to do little things, because it presented like an interesting problem to solve all the time. That's what was kind of interesting about it. So the point is that once the van life became a trend and it became this weird internet thing, all the real van life people, what happened was, I noticed a lot of them ended up like buying houses and stuff, because they saved so much money from living in their van that they would buy houses. This is way before COVID even happened. So I've always been interested in going against the wave, against what's common, because when you go against what's common, there's way more opportunity. So like, now everybody's buying vans. When I was doing van life, you could buy a minivan for like nothing, for like $1,000, because everybody thought that minivans were not cool in the States. So I could buy like a minivan for no money. Now everybody's onto the fact that you should get a minivan. So they're kind of, it's totally different now. Everybody's doing it, so the opportunity is gone. But the good thing about being not necessarily a forward thinker, it's just doing the opposite of what most people do, is that I learned to see like a different opportunity already, a step ahead of most people, which is like a lot of people can see that. It's just being different. It's just hopping on something different and being like unique. So while most people started getting like on van life trend, all the real van lifers, people that were living in their cars, were like buying houses and living a totally different lifestyle. So I think it's funny. Look at the snow people. So I think it's funny that like I view me going to Russia as like, it's my next step. It's like my way of being ahead of everyone else, because people in the West are really struggling right now trying to live normal lives. You know, I've always thought in a different way. I could always see, oh, you know, this is a bad situation. How do I avoid it? My uncle would call it unsophisticated, but that don't matter. Like, to me, it's like you're in a video game and like you're avoiding the pit, or you're avoiding a trap, or you're avoiding getting burned by fire. You know, you're just jumping onto a safe island so you don't get hurt. That's what like moving to Russia is. It was like a perfect situation. It's like, oh, you know, Russia happens to be really perfect. It's nobody's thinking about it. Nobody thinks to go to Russia, and I really love it. So it actually worked out perfect, and it's actually a much better place. Just now, people are like forced into these alternative living situations because they can't afford normal life. So that's sad, because when I was doing van life, it was just a way to gain a competitive edge against the system. Because I thought, why would I force myself to spend $1,000 on rent? Everyone can do that. Anyone can do that. You're stuck in a lease. The lease program in the US is like, you're stuck in a year lease. And I love to travel, so it's like I always thought, man, living in a van is awesome, because you could just, your home is mobile. You can go wherever you want. So like I just thought like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Like, I wasn't forced into this situation. It just seemed like obvious. Like, why not take all that pressure off? Like, why live a life that you hate when you could just think outside the box, do something different? Yeah, it's, you know, people are gonna have their thoughts about it, but who cares? Like, it was a super fun time. I would do it again, but I think van life would actually be interesting to do maybe in Russia. I thought about that, you know, like thinking ahead, or thinking about like probably something that no one else would do. So yeah, I was thinking of like, oh, now that the American and Russian YouTube channels and people are sharing their experiences and stuff, I guess, or whatever. It's cool how now all this information has become available, because I would be searching so hard for any kind of help to get a Russian visa. How do you live in Russia long term? I had no clue about the tourist visa. I stumbled on that information by accident. And now it's like you have all kinds, like you can, it's just easier now. So I feel like, you know, I'm on the edge of the wave, you know, but I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always like, Russia is definitely what I want to do no matter what. It's not just like, I'm just, so no matter how many people come here, you know, I mean, it's never gonna really, I don't think, get saturated, because Russia has like, it has natural measures in place that keep people away, so it wouldn't be like that. But maybe imagine if Russia turns into like van life, where it becomes like an internet trend, like move to Russia. That would be funny. I would still be here though. It's not the same as van life. It's not the same thing. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think outside the box and differently? Like my uncle says, it's not sophisticated necessarily. It's actually really simple. You just think, okay, like the majority of people are going this direction. What's in the opposite direction? Can I just move over to the side and have a better opportunity? I mean, it's a really easy thing to do. So like, I don't know, I would think about because I thought it was, so I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, a lot of people are in really bad living situations and they're actually forcing themselves to live in their cars, which is very not fun if you're forced to do that. Now, if you do it for fun, it's a lot of fun. Like, it is a challenge, but I was telling my dad, you know, like, I'm thinking, and I'm not alone, I'm not like special. There's a lot of people who don't document their life, who think ahead too. A lot of people, like years and years ago, who moved out of the United States and thought about living abroad. That was a better opportunity for them. But I was like, you know, I think it's so funny how people are kind of like stuck in this really bad situation in the US, and I could be there too. You know, I'd figure out different kind of solutions probably. Maybe I would be homeless, but it's like now as everything is going bad, I get to be in Russia, and Russia is actually like the perfect opportunity for me. It's perfect for me. And I'm not saying that because I'm some kind of genius or like I'm bragging that, oh, like, no, it's just like, it just happened to work out that way because once I learned to like trust myself and follow my own ideas in my own brain, it became easier because I naturally became ahead of the curve almost, because no one's gonna follow my thoughts, you know, like no one thinks like me. I mean, you know, like I naturally think on my own, and so it worked out perfectly because once I started thinking for myself, right, like I was already ahead of everyone, because a lot of people are searching. This is a big problem with when I used to do this too, is like they're searching for answers. They're searching for someone to tell them what to do, you know? And I used to do that too. I used to be like, what do I do? And that's gonna give you a big problem, because you're just gonna be behind the curve all the time. You're just gonna be, you need to find out your own answers. So once you learn to trust yourself, it's good, because you'll never not have an answer. You can always follow yourself or whatever. So, one other thing I wanted to mention, hopefully this isn't too boring, but like I had some kind of like weird spiritual awakening in 2017. I think it's I forgot what I want to say about this, but it's nearing like the 7-year anniversary of 2017, and like basically my whole life changed. It was a landmark year for me, and you know, back then I had like a strong spiritual connection. It was really weird. I had a strong spiritual connection for a while, and I had all kinds of breakthroughs like spiritually about my life. I changed a lot of stuff in my life, and now it's like moving to Russia, it's kind of like a different problem, because it's a lot of kind of stepping into the unknown and having faith that the more I come to Russia, the further I go away from the US, and Russia feels more like home. I feel more comfortable here. But you know, I was in the sauna yesterday for like a good 20 minutes in the hot sauna, and after like a long sauna session like that, you get like a sauna high where you get really high, just like a clear mind. It's like a runner's high. And sometimes I try to like meditate and connect with, like, you know, connect with God or whatever you want to call it. Back in those days in 2017, I had this kind of spiritual connection where God let me connect to him or it. And at that time I was really broke, and I was really relying on just like a spiritual connection to guide me. And when I did that, like, it was the best feeling in the world. There's nothing here on earth that could compare to just being connected like that. But that eventually went away, the connection. And sometimes, like, I pray and I ask to get that connection, but I don't get it the same way anymore. And so I go to the sauna and I try to put myself in a place where I can just connect, be thankful, because I'm so thankful that I'm in Russia. Like, every day I'm so happy that I get to be here. It's like the best feeling ever. So I feel like God has revealed himself through Russia, instead of, it's just in a different way, you know, because I don't connect to God anymore, really. I meditate, I pray, I say, hey, you know, whatever. But I feel like God has revealed himself, like, through actually Russia. And when I see someone, these little Russian things that make me so happy, it's like God talking to me and God saying, like, you know, I'm here or whatever. So it's been like a totally interesting experience for me, going to the grocery store, stuff like that. Yeah, it's been really interesting, you know, because I'm trying to go down a different path and, like, follow my own way. And for that, you need a lot of faith or whatever to do. Not the comfortable thing. It's about going into, like, an uncomfortable space where you don't know what's gonna happen, and you want God to be there to help you. And a lot of times it's just not certain. But Russia has really provided me a sense of comfort and, like, certainty, just because it's just a place that I just love so much, you know. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm always, like, thankful about that every day. So we're almost at school, but I really wanted to talk about this kind of thing. I know it's, like, really boring, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's it. Мы пойдем в шашлык ресторан. Stepping in, like, yeah, you see him. Off-road mode. Look at this. Wow. Шашлык ресторан. There's a lot of snow on here. This is incredible. I mean, seriously, this is crazy ridiculous how beautiful this is. It's just, man. Невский проспект, Казанская забор. Я очень голодный. Мне болит голова. Мне нужен есть шашлыки. Yeah, you like how the Crocs perform? This is like a bunch of snow. No problem. Без проблем. Now that the snow came down, it's actually kind of warmer now. Ugh. Quite a bit of beautiful snow on the ground. The snow, like the way the snow falls in Petersburg, it's like it just floats in the sky. Just does dances in the sky over and over. Yeah. I might as well film the walk. Гулять. Пошел. У Китая турист. 见过梵蒂冈的朋友就觉得，哎，这个教堂见过，这是以梵蒂冈的这个教堂为代表。好，Китая турист. It should be here. Казанская. Очень снега. Очень снегу. No problem. О, это ресторан. Сулика. Россия очень красиво. Russia is so effing beautiful, man. It's the best place on earth. I love it here so much. Силика. Грузия. Кухня. Грузия кухня. Шашлык. Поехали со мной. Let's go. Давайте со мной. Okay, let's do this together. Actually, let me look at this real quick and I'll get back to you. It's my coat over there. I have the whole room to myself. I am so hungry. What is this called? The King Kali. Oh, it's in по-английски тоже. Невский. Потому что Невский турист. I ordered a lot of food, but I'm gonna take it home. I'm gonna take the rest home so I can eat tomorrow or whatever. You know what I mean? I ordered a lot of food, but so far we only have a salad and a dolma. There's мясо and there's мясом. And we're gonna подождите for more food, you know, guys. This looks really good. The waiters are like, why did this kid order so much food? It doesn't make any sense, but I want to take some home too, that's why. And I want to try a bunch of different things, so. This right here looks amazing. I don't even know what this is. I think there's like a roasted dish, but this looks mad good. It smells so good too. We got this soup too. It's got lamb in it. This looks real good. We'll try these right here. It's got lamb in it. This smells amazing. This smells so damn good. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to watch a video, but I'm gonna put the camera on myself so I can show you myself eating.
С бараниной сделать? Пушен. Соус к нему сделать? Зачем?
Баранины сушили, вот это питательница не надо. Говядина причем. Конечно. Калорий. И вот. 200 грамм.
Какой? Стандарт сейчас сказал, да,
Нет, только не сам.
чистый рост. Чистый рост может?
Хороший вот?
Лучше. Она 200 грамм. Наливать можно. 200 стакан взял? Шашлыком соус.
Oh my gosh. Is this like potatoes or something? This is not good. Mushrooms. The waiter remembered everything that I ordered. I ordered like 8 different things. He didn't write anything down. I have 4 things here already. Plus the beer. They didn't have much of a beer selection, but I think they have more wine because it's Georgian food. This is a Czech beer. The soup is amazing.
По-грузински с греческим нету, по-грузински Греция належит. Я уже наливал. Есть просто вообще на месте.
Себе на себе смотришь.
I used to be too scared to go into a restaurant like this. Believe it or not, I would never step into a restaurant like this. So I've come quite a long way. This what came out. This is Georgian beef. It looks pretty good. I think we got lamb too. I got way too much stuff, but it's okay. We're gonna take it home. This is the beef right here.
Я не знаю.
It's really good.
Дай мне с бульоном.
Она через 15 минут будет готова.
Да ладно, какая разница, просто. А тут такое чувство, что я хотел, чтобы это бульон, а это... А здесь мясо, короче. Я хотел водички. Записать.
Как готовишь сразу? Приятного.
That's like the final thing. Lamb. My favorite cut of meat is lamb. So we're just gonna try a piece and then take the rest of it home. Should I do the other thing too?
Ну, дорого получается. 200 грамм. 200 грамм. Сегодня 6 знаешь, 400 тысяч, 500 тысяч. Как будто дорого.
Лаваш.
Нет. Нравится? Берет дорогое и значит. Ну,
Epically. Why would you want to be anywhere else than here? This is literally awesome. This is the coolest place ever. I love Russia. I love Russia. Dom книги. This is so funny because supposedly this is actually the building of an American company. It's a Singer Sewing Company. It's fascinating.